Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about a recent 5-star read, and it's only my second 5-star read of 2023 so far, and as I'm filming this we are in July. And that book is Big Swiss by Jen Beagin. So this is the story of a sapphic relationship, of obsession, of sort of trauma, but with a lot of humour throughout. So we follow Greta, who works as a transcriptionist. It's set in New York, and she works as a transcriptionist for a sex therapist who sends her these audio files of his consultations with his clients. So Greta works from home and she types up these audio files, and because of confidentiality, she doesn't know the client's name. She only knows them by their initials. But occasionally, when she is out and about, she will hear a voice and she will recognise that voice, and she will realise that it is someone who she has sort of typed their notes of. And Greta becomes increasingly obsessed with one of the clients of this sex therapist who Greta nicknames in her mind Big Swiss, because she is Swiss, and Greta imagines her to be sort of tall and imposing. Big Swiss is married to a man, and she is having some sort of marital problems, and she's had some trauma in her past as well. And so Greta hears all of this through typing this transcript and becomes increasingly infatuated with Big Swiss, with her sort of idea of Big Swiss. And then one day when Greta is in the park, she meets Big Swiss, and she quickly realises that is who she is, because she immediately recognises the voice, but she does not let on to Big Swiss that she, knows who she is in this way. And they start to develop a relationship, and this is all like on the blurb. So they start to develop a relationship. And Greta continues to not be honest with Big Swiss about just how much she really knows about her. So Greta is sort of kind of a bit of an unlikable character in some ways, but a really, really interesting character to read about. The book is really quite funny. I laughed out loud at certain parts. I don't laugh a lot at books. I think humour in books is very, very personal, isn't it? But we have, so for example, after they've met, Greta continues to type up these audio files of Big Swiss's continuing meetings with this sex therapist. And so Big Swiss tells the therapist that she's met this new woman, and she's saying things about Greta, and so Greta's typing these notes, and so we get the transcript in the book, and then every so often there'll be this sort of little interjection from Greta in response to whatever sort of Big Swiss is saying. I thought it was very, very funny. There is some sort of more sombre elements to the book as well. As I said, there's some trauma that Big Swiss has been through, and also Greta herself. So there are some sort of more serious elements to the book as well. I have got a couple of books here that I would kind of compare it to, and I feel like if you like either of these books, you may well like Big Swiss. So the two books I would kind of compare it to is No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood and Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. And I feel like these are kind of similar in terms of the sort of the blending of the humour and the more serious stuff, and in terms of the sort of tone of the humour. I feel like if you liked the tone of the humour on these books, you may well like Big Swiss. Likewise, I mean, if you hated these books, then I guess this might not be for you. But I just had such a great time reading it, and this was one of those 5-star books where, to a certain point, I'm not even quite sure what it was, that there was just something that hit the right spot for me, and I would happily just reread this again in a heartbeat. I had a really, really great time with it. I know Jen Beagin has had a couple of other books published as well, which I think my library has, so I will have to head to them at some point. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know, have you read this book and what you thought of it, or are you planning on reading it? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're well, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye.